Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your. Let it. First job that I live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation, the relations I've got, the only one that keeps me safe, the only one you should trust. For sure, it ain't right that I have checked this speck of dust from all of its sides. Fall down, that from my height, cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye. What you hear and you said when no one's to be found. What keeps you eased out? What takes you off your mind?
Yes, you want this, I want this. Everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands. Show yourself, reveal it to them. Check the time to.
Hi everyone, welcome to our show From Vision to Success.
Booyaka shock! Booyaka shock!
Oh my gosh, can you guys believe it's summer? Are your kids
It's
officially done school?
They are my kids. My kids are beyond ecstatic, and we bought a calendar, like one of those whiteboard calendars that has the calendars, and you put in the time slots and all that. Anyways, whatever. And then we went through, when Tegan's working, when are we going out? We're doing a lot of stay-homecation.
Yeah.
So one-day trips or, camping for 4 days and things like that.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
So your whole summer's booked already. You know what you're doing.
It pretty much is. We got a couple of weddings.
I love weddings. If you're out there, invite me to your wedding. I promise I will get you a gift.
You don't want to invite her to the wedding.
Invite me to your weddings. I miss it so much.
She'll embarrass you so much.
I'm in this in-between stage. You know when you first get married and all your friends are getting married and you're getting all these invites because everybody's getting married. And I got to a point that I was like, oh my gosh, like so many weddings. And now I'm like, I want a wedding. Invite me to your wedding. MJ, where's MJ?
Oh, yeah.
You're getting married? Invite me to your wedding. Just kidding. No, but I'm not really kidding.
Poor guy. So, listen, we have a massive giveaway. I don't want to say massive, but
it is massive, man.
It is. It's a big. It's for us. It is, especially for family and stuff like that, and seeking for time. It's a big giveaway.
100%.
Yeah.
I was like, it is a big giveaway.
Yeah.
We were talking about it, and I was like, what? No, 100%. So go ahead. You want to share it?
No, we're not doing it right now.
We're not doing it right now?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to stay on then.
Yeah,
till the end?
Yeah,
We're
till
doing
the
it at
end. We'll announce the giveaway at the end, so you have to make sure that you've logged in.
It's a big one.
It is.
I was not expecting how big it was.
It's not even that big.
I know.
What are you talking about?
It is big. To me, it's big. I would love to win something like that.
I know. I think it's big when you're looking for time. When you have a family and you are like, I think it's big in that sense.
It would be big to us. It would be big to me.
100%. It would be huge to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're excited. We're excited to share with you guys.
What are your plans this summer?
Well, I have my August is shot completely. Like I have camps. I have a mommy and me camp, so it's me and the kids going. I have
Who's that with?
Oh, it's part of the. It's like somebody from a different state runs it. I don't know, Lori LaFrance. You know who that is?
Yeah, I think Tegan's going to that.
Is she really? So I'm going to be there. It's
is
at the end of August. I don't know if she's.
Is it the family one? No, is it it's mommy and me, just you and your kids, right? No, Mike? So she got invited to another one.
Because I thought she did it with her friends, because I know I went to the camp once before and some of her friends were there. And I know right before COVID hit, she signed up to go, but then it just didn't work out, right? Because COVID was here.
This is not the mommy and me.
So she's going to a different one. I'm going to the one that's organized by Lori, and it's pretty awesome. It's 3 days, I think. Three days.
It's very similar because it's a family thing,
Yeah.
and then like the husbands are invited.
Okay.
And there's like over 50 people showing up.
Oh shoot, that's awesome.
At the Thomas camp.
So this one's a different one because there's no husbands.
Right.
Yeah. So you guys are going at a different. This one's a completely different one.
For this one is the week of like August 22nd or something like that. You're on the last week, which is on the August 29th.
No.
Yeah, this is your week right here. So Tegan, the one that
When is she going?
the one that we're going to is this one. It's like in this time frame.
That's when I'm going.
You're going to this one.
No, I'm not.
Then it might be the same one.
Husbands are invited, so you're gonna be there. Dang it!
100%. You're gonna see me in my 2-piece bikini,
Oh my God.
beach body.
Listen, I'm like,
Can you imagine me at the beach just?
and 100% he would do that. I'd be like, I don't even know how Tegan does it because I'm like me. I don't. Obviously, we don't live together, but I'm like.
Do you realize over the last week how many people have asked Tegan, how do you do it?
A lot, because I
I'm
always
starting to feel offended. Like, honestly, I think I'm great to get along with.
you are.
This
It's
is
just-
horrible.
You are. It's just you have these moments where you can like you do things and you're like, oh my gosh, is he actually doing that? You're kind of like, oh my gosh, he is doing that. And I'm like,
I gave an inverted kiss to Tegan the other day.
how do you do an inverted kiss?
She wasn't happy.
I don't even know what that means, and it
An
sounds
inverted
like
kiss? Okay,
yeah.
hopefully Mike is not watching, so then you can give Mike an inverted
Oh,
kiss.
okay, I was like, where is
Oh
it
no, I'm
now?
not doing it to you. No, not to you. What are you talking about? No, dude, keep it PG here. No,
That's I'm like, what is this guy talking about?
no. I'm gonna tell you
Okay, tell me.
how to do an inverted kiss.
I'll do it.
and then do it to Mike. So hopefully
Okay.
Mike is not watching.
He's working. He has a ton of meetings.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So
Okay.
here's how to do an inverted kiss, right? So normally when you give a kiss, you blow in, like you suck in, like that's how you make the
So
kiss.
you go instead.
Right. So when you're about to when your lips touch,
So you gave her like CPR inadvertently.
yeah, she was
Just
not
hit the
happy.
mic.
She was like, "Ah," and she punched me, and she was like, anyways. But yeah, so normally when you give a kiss, right, and I don't know if you think about it, but you make that sound.
You do. You don't breathe, I guess.
No,
Right?
you suck in. You go. It's a blow in. It's a suck in.
Can I tell you something? I watched Top Gun yesterday. Not the second one, but the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
but I felt so awkward watching the kissing scenes. I'm like, the kissing scenes were like full out. You would see, it was only the shadow, but you would see the tongue go up. And
Are you serious? Were the kids watching?
no, I
Live.
was like,
Mommy, what is that?
no, I was like, no, they weren't watching. My kids called me out. One time I was watching something that had swearing in it.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, I should have turned it off because my third was there. And my third, he's so sweet. He has such a pure heart. Anyway, he was like, the swearing happened once. I was like, oh, shoot, I'll turn it off. Swearing happened twice. I was like, did you hear it? I'm like, swearing happened 3 times. He looked up and he's like, I don't want to hear that language. I'm just going to go upstairs. I'm like,
He called you out.
I was like, I'm sorry, baby. So I turned it off.
That's
Yeah.
funny. No, talking about the Top Gun and like the whole tongue thing, whatever. We were watching a movie and there was a kissing scene as well, and it was the same thing.
I know.
The
I
whole
was
thing.
like,
But hang on, Elias. No, it wasn't Elias.
Levi.
I think it was Levi.
I
who
love
said,
Levi. Oh
"Oh,
my God.
Levi." Levi says like
We
the
should have him on
craziest.
the podcast. Where's Levi? Go get him.
No, I'm not getting Levi right now. We have to train him first before we put him in front of like a public audience. He's like, Dad. I'm like, yeah. He goes, why is he eating her?
Legit. That's what it was. I'm like,
Yeah.
it seemed like there was
He was
licking.
feeding. Yeah,
it
he
was,
was feeding.
leaking. It was like
Yeah.
leaking. No, licking. There
Licking.
we go. Licking. I'm
Yeah.
like leaking. Nothing was leaking. It was licking.
Licking. No, but yeah, go to Mike. He's like, babe, kiss. And then when you go in, instead of going in, just go out.
Okay, I'll try. I'll record it.
Please record. I will pay so much money. I'm telling you right now, if you can do an inverted kiss to Mike.
Okay, you do it to Tegan, and I'll do it to Mike. You just have to record it. Just hide it in the kitchen somewhere, and then just go and do it.
I'll just get one of my kids to
Yeah.
be recording
Okay.
in the background. So you understand that I'm going to be getting more trouble than you because I already did it and I already got punished for it.
Yeah, that's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's my health we're talking about here. But
Oh my gosh.
anything else for the summer?
Well, aside we're doing the YLC, so we're doing a youth, what would you call it? Like a youth.
It's a youth leadership camp.
Yeah.
Conference.
So yes, we're doing the youth leadership conference,
Which is what YLC stands for.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh, you guys know. I don't even know what Vision to Success is. I was half the time like,
Oh yeah,
the
welcome
BS.
to Vision to Success.
I have to read it on the top. Yeah, so we're doing that. And then the beginning, I'm doing another, like a camp with the young women. Yeah, so my month of August is shot. And so July is a little bit up in the air because I'm going to have some doctor's appointments coming up.
Okay.
But based on that, I'll probably, in the in-betweens, do stuff with the kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you started preparing for your YLC? The youth leadership camp?
Yeah, I kind of have. So when you and I talked last time, and I was in shock that you prepared like days before you presented.
So
I asked him.
Sounds so bad.
No, but you have a wealth of knowledge. That's why, right? Oh, so I should give you a background.
Yeah.
If you're joining us for the first time, Miguel and I go to the same church.
Right.
We both work with youth. The youth that we work with are 12 to 18 years old.
Right.
Our church does a lot of awesome things for the youth of the whole area, not just the Brampton area, right? So we have this youth leadership that's happening, and a whole bunch of people from like Hamilton, Kitchener, Brampton.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it goes.
It's 9 regions. It goes way up north. Like we're talking about Sudbury all the way to Ottawa. Well, Ottawa used to be invited, but they're doing their own thing now.
Okay. So it's pretty big. Like we're getting
is.
it's a ton of youth there, right? So anyway, this
it's like 6. At one point, we capped at 800.
That's crazy.
But on an average, we get anywhere between 5 and 6.
So this is like 500 to 600, 12 to 18 year. No, not 12. Sorry, 14 to 18-year-olds. So this year, I was invited to be one of the presenters, which it's really scary.
Yeah.
And Miguel has done it so many times. So I was asking him for some advice. And I was telling him, I was like, oh my gosh, I want to work on it now so I don't actually get overwhelmed by August and doing it. And here I was asking him, he's like, what? He's like, I just do it like the day before.
So no.
The morning of. Just kidding.
So hang on one second. Yes and no. Yes and no. So normally how it works is I can't, if I write my entire workshop right now, by the time I get there, like
you're going to switch it.
I'm going to switch it. Something else is going to come up, and I know me, and because once I get the topic in my head, I'm always thinking about it. So whatever I write, it's not going to be the same thing by the time that I end up, right?
So do you jot ideas down?
And not only that, I don't give time for revelation and inspiration, right? So I want to. And I will forget. So whatever I write down in the spirit of writing whatever the workshop is, by the time I get there, it's not gonna be in the same spirit.
Yeah.
So what I do is I carry a notebook, or I carry like a jot note on my phone, or even a recorder. And every time I get an idea, I record it, written or verbal.
Yeah.
And so I just, for whatever time between I'm giving the subject to the time of delivery, all I'm doing is just market research.
Yeah.
I'm just collecting information, stories from the scriptures, and I'm just collecting. And the day before, I have, and it's not that I have a wealth of knowledge, is that I've acquired a wealth of knowledge over that period of span. And then the day before, I just put everything together.
That makes sense.
Right? And then it's fresh. It's the day before, and I'm like, okay. But I will tell you, a couple of times it's happened where the day before I do the workshop and I'm like, this feels good. This feels amazing. I know where I'm going to tell my story. I know where I'm going to do my video and all these different things. And I wake up in the morning and this overwhelming feeling like that's not the workshop I'm meant to deliver.
So you change it.
And it's been a couple of times. I mean, I've been doing this for quite a bit, like over 2 years. And there's been 2 or 3 times that I can remember is that the morning of, it's like workshop is about to start in 3 hours. And I'm like, this is not the workshop. And I'm like, what are you talking? I'm having this conversation with the spirit. I'm like, what are you talking about, right?
Yeah.
You told me yesterday it was.
He's like, you were in the right path. I didn't say exactly that you were there.
And, yes, it was one of those. And I'm like, freak. And so I'm like, I won't even have breakfast in the morning, right? And I'm like, okay, scratch it and then open up PowerPoint and then recreate a brand new workshop. But when I deliver the brand new workshop, I'm like, okay,
I get that.
I know why it was this one to be delivered and not the one I created the day before. So that's happened to me a couple of times. And so I'm like, so for me to start creating the workshop now, it's not going to get delivered by the time I deliver it.
And I totally get that, right? Because I was thinking of, it's just so different, right? Because I was thinking, I was like, I need to get it done now because I don't know what my July is going to look like. I don't know what my August is going to look like. But then through this whole process, I've had ideas and I've been jotting down my ideas. And I was like, had I written it like 2 weeks ago, I don't know if I would have had these ideas or gone the way that I'm like planning to go. So I totally get it.
Yeah. And it's going to be like that from now, even up until you deliver it.
That's what I'm thinking. I was thinking that I wanted to like just get her done, but it's not gonna happen that way. I know it. I already know it, and I feel inside that it's like it's not the right way to do it. Because I like what you said. You don't have the moment of like inspiration, creativity, like. Yeah. And you know, we both have the same faith anyway, so we believe that the Lord is gonna bless us with the insight.
100%. It's gonna come and go. So Maria, this is gonna be your first one.
Yeah. Like, I know it's really scary.
It is. You should be. These kids are gonna eat you alive.
I was like, and you know what the worst part is, because they have that form that they fill out, like rating you, and I'm like,
they rate you at the end. Oh my gosh.
I know, and I'm like, you know what? Like in my mind, I'm like, you're gonna be a one and done, but it's okay because it's a bucket list item. I already checked it off. Nobody can take it away, right? I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be a one and done.
Yeah. No, I know that's gonna be definitely. So I got a question for you here, and I've been burning to ask you. Hang on, let me close this thing.
Is it your bird, right? His bird has been freaking me out all day today.
She's okay. She's excited to see people. Period. Ready?
Okay.
Have you ever felt envy?
Of course.
Okay, so why have you felt envy towards me?
Oh, towards you?
You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry. Okay, do it again. Sorry. I was like, towards you? Just no. Okay.
No. Period. Envy. Have you ever felt envy?
Yes, I have.
You have?
I have. And it's because I've done the comparison thing. Especially in the past when I wasn't working so hardcore into my mindset.
Yeah.
I would do the comparison thing. And then I would think that certain things would just come easier to other people. And then I would just wish to be them, but I didn't want to do the work myself. So then it would just create this whole negativity to sometimes like weird feelings towards that person. Sometimes it would just make me more self-conscious. It would hurt my self-esteem and how I saw myself. So yeah, I definitely have felt envy in the past.
Okay. And how have you gotten rid of that envy?
Realizing that sometimes in social media and life, you just see the highlights. Like when you see somebody successful and you see somebody who's like rocking it and you're like, oh my gosh, they're doing so good. It's realizing that there was hard work behind it, that there was tears, there was sweat, there was blood, there was like so much uncomfortableness that person had to go through, right? So I think that's helped me quite a bit.
Interesting.
Yeah. What about you?
No, I've done the whole comparison thing. I remember turning on my Instagram, and this one buddy of mine, I know he's not a fit guy, like at all. He's got a beer belly. Okay. Right. And
so what were you feeling? Were you feeling a little envious then?
Because when he posted a flat stomach, like an 8-pack. Okay. And I'm like,
how did it happen?
Yeah. And almost overnight. Right? Like, I'm like, how did this guy... and I would say, you know, and you look at his posts, and the ones before is like, he's got this gut and whatever. I'm like, what? Like, whatever this kid's taking, I don't care if it's legal or not legal.
You're like, sign me up.
I want it, right? Like this 8-pack washboard abs.
Was it a filter?
It was a filter. So I messaged him. Like, frick, dude. How in the world did you get those abs? He goes, oh man, it's just a filter. So I downloaded it.
There we go. You got it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But how many times does that happen?
It happens. I think you have to be mindful. And I think sometimes feeling a little bit of jealousy is okay. And the reason why I say that is because sometimes it allows you to realize that you're not happy where you're at. And sometimes you can reach for more. So I think realizing that a little bit of being like, oh, you know what? Like, I wonder what this person's doing. They have this. Like, what did they do to get there?
But is that jealousy?
I don't know what else to describe it as.
That's true.
Like, what else would you describe it? Just a little bit, like a teeny incy-wincy bit. Yeah. I think it becomes a problem when it affects how you see yourself or how you treat the other person. Because if you start being negative, like talking poorly about the other person, talking poorly about yourself, then that's not cool, right? Yeah. That's what I think anyway.
Yeah. No, okay. So I the reason why I asked you about this whole envy thing is that the best way to get rid of envy is to be grateful.
Yeah. Because you have to realize that what you have. The thing is, too, with gratitude, you're not going to get more until you are grateful for what you have. Because even if you get more, it's not going to be good enough.
Yeah. Well, I had a friend of mine. Oh, not a friend of mine. This girl that I used to coach. She was at a school in Georgia. No, I'm not going to say where.
Her address was da-da-da-da. Oh, shoot. Delete.
Forget what I just said. But there was this boy out of the States, Australia. And so, but just a wonderful person. And then this person was like hurting themselves, you know. And then what we did is we decided to make a list of all the things that this person had.
Yeah.
And by the time that we were done, we had come up with like 21 things. And it was incredible to see the light come back into this person's eyes.
Yeah.
Right? Because this person went from like feeling like they had nothing in their life versus, wow, 21 things that you should be excited for living, right? And I think that's it's big. Like when you're feeling depressed, and I mean, again, this is not the all and all and be all answer. I mean, for other people, you might need additional help, but it's a very low bearing fruit that you can grab.
Yeah.
Right. And that you can start with. It's just having a sense of gratitude. And then along with help of everything and others and maybe even medication, right? I'm not opposed to medications and stuff like that, but even help. But I think having a grateful heart can be a starting point to get healing.
Yeah, I agree. I remember reading a story. I listened to, I think it was like a podcast, and I think it had to do, it was like a Tony Robbins thing, right? But he talked about how he worked with someone who was experiencing like some severe depression, severe, right? And the thing that started, not that he was working with, but this person had a therapist, and they were working through it with a therapist and medication and all that stuff. But one of the strategies that they used was gratitude. And even though at that time where that person started writing, he was like, I don't have anything. He's like, I'm like almost homeless. I don't have any relationships with my family. I don't have anything, right? The person, like the therapist, encouraged like small things. And one of the first things that he wrote, he was like, he started off with, I'm grateful for having this pencil. I'm grateful for having this piece of paper. I'm grateful for having the ability to write. I'm grateful for being able to see. Like things, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And simple things. Right? Because sometimes we think about like having gratitude for, you know, like we think we're like, well, nothing great has happened in my life. But then when you start out simple, you're like, well, you were able to wake up this morning. You have access to a pencil that sometimes in some countries people don't have, right?
Yeah.
You have paper, like just small things. And this person, over a period of time, working with a therapist, medication, and doing gratitude, was able to develop mental resiliency.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I was like, that story stuck to me because I thought to myself, I was like, even in the hardest of times and the lowest points, you still have things that you can still be grateful for.
Right.
But it's like a muscle, right?
I'm just noticing that behind you, there's all that mess.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I should clean up.
That's all right. We're already halfway through. Don't worry.
No, I know. This has been my dumping ground because I've been cleaning out my car and I've been cleaning. Like, it's the end of the year now.
Yeah.
Right. For the schools bookings and stuff. And so I got so many things that I wanna rearrange and change. I was actually thinking about putting the desk this way.
Okay. And how would that like? I don't know how you would. So would you have the chair that way, or this way?
Not this way, facing that way, the door.
Okay, now I get it. Okay.
And then have the monitor on that side. And so when we do the podcast, the desk is already here, so I don't have to keep bringing this in and out.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see what Miguel does.
Anyways, I'm playing around with certain things. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So excuse the mess, but listen, don't go away because again, at the end of the day, at the end of this podcast, we're gonna announce how you're going to win this huge, massive trip to Hawaii. I mean, prize pack for just being faithful followers.
It'll be a card, trip to Hawaii with a picture of Hawaii.
That's what somebody said the other day. It's just a
visual.
Yeah, a visual trip to. So here's my other question. Have you ever felt like you're like life is just
swallowing you.
Yes, like
Yeah.
crashing in, and you're in the center, and all four walls are just crashing in center wise on top of you.
Yeah, I have.
You have.
Have you? You share an experience. Like, can you think of anything off the top of your head?
Yeah. I think I did once, but so not to repeat myself, I'm thinking of another one.
Today, sir.
No,
Today.
I know. Okay, so
like the Jeopardy music. Ding, ding,
dun,
ding.
dun, 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 dun. Okay, the most recent one, and I hate to say this. I don't know if I should say this.
Just say it. I'm interested to hear.
No, I don't know if I should say this.
Say it. Well, you can't just start it and be like, oh, never mind, folks.
Nah.
You're not ready?
It's not that I'm not ready.
So what's holding you back?
Okay, therapist. You relax there. Stop asking me questions.
Well, you like to be the one dishing them out, but you can't take them, eh?
No, I can take it.
Then share it. That's my type of therapy. Get out there.
You'd be like the worst therapist ever. Just tell me, boy. You suck. Just tell me. Like, I'm sorry. When I was 9 years old.
I'm like, get out. Just kidding. Anyway, go ahead. I'm listening.
All of a sudden, you show up with a chancleta in the therapy session. Like, I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm still alive. Like, clearly it works.
Yeah. No, and you know why I hesitate to say it? Because I don't want this to be a sob story and like, woe is me.
No, but this is the power of sharing stories that have been hard. Is not that you're just going to share the woe is me. You're going to share the strategies that helped you to overcome. It makes you more personable.
I know.
So Miguel here has difficulty sharing.
I don't have difficulty. No, don't. I don't.
Okay, then.
I don't have difficulty sharing. It's I don't want people thinking that I am ungrateful. It's a double-edged sword.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
You got to work through this. Come on. Let's do it today. Let's work through it. Just share it. And then I'll tell you if the story came out like a woe is me. And then we'll talk about strategies to just uplift that story. I got you.
On live social media. Okay. It's the one thing that I've struggled. It's okay. It's one of the imps. And this imp is not letting me go.
Okay.
Right? It's my calling.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, go ahead.
I feel.
Do you feel inadequate?
I feel very inadequate. And I look around and I see hundreds. Well, in our world, we don't have hundreds, but I see
tens.
a handful of men, and I know what the scriptures say. Okay, like I get it.
So if you don't know what a calling is, Miguel is in a leadership position in church, and sometimes these leadership positions have a lot of things to do, a lot of the spiritual nurturing, and also like other types of things that you have to do.
Yeah.
So your congregation would be like 80 to 100.
Yeah, we're averaging about 100.
Okay.
And so and I know the scripture. Like if I was counseling anyone, I know the verses that I would use.
Yeah.
Whoever the Lord calleth, prepareth, whatever that verse says, right? Like
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But it's this feeling of there are other great men that could do this calling 1,000 times better.
So question, when you have those thoughts, what do you do? Do you just ignore them?
No,
or
I just power through them. Because I do recognize that if I park in what I'm feeling, then nothing's going to get done. Right?
Okay, but do you have strategies to help you overcome or work through those feelings?
No.
So so that's the thing, right? Because I'm like, there is the circumstance,
and I tell you, and this is the other thing is, right? There are two, maybe one person that I know that I'm not their favorite person.
Oh yeah, that happens.
But it irks me though, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what did I do? And so I feel horrible. Like I feel bad. And we've talked about this on the podcast before. And I need to like wash my hands and be like, you know what? I've tried to reach out with like an olive branch, but it just really, I just feel very inadequate. And I'm like,
I think a lot of it is you feed from people's energy. And I see you when people give you that good energy. Like I remember that time with that kid in our ward where he was like, he had that glimmer in your eye, and you were like walking on clouds.
That kid was ready to take a bullet for me, man. I love that. What's his name again?
Adrian.
Buddy.
Adrian.
Oh my gosh. Adrian, buddy, I love you, man. That kid was, I didn't see anything. I fully gave her a willy.
Oh my gosh. But anyway, I see you feed off that energy. So I think it's off-putting when and I think it's with everyone that nobody wants to be not liked.
Right.
But I think.
But you see, hang on one second.
Okay.
Okay, granted, everybody wants to be accepted.
Yeah.
Right? But here's the one thing that I admire about you.
Okay.
Right? And I hate to admit it on public television.
He's like, okay, hold on. He just goes to throw up. Okay.
No, but the ability that you have to bounce back. Like there was this one time where we got like a hate comment.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, oh, we got trolls, guys. Oh, that means we're making it big. Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my gosh, somebody doesn't like us, and so you're like thriving, like and I'm mascaras everywhere. Like, oh my gosh. So I that was my first realization, like your thick skin and your ability just to bounce back. I'm like, freak, I want that. And
I don't have thick skin though. I think it does bother me when people don't like me and when people make comments about me.
Yeah, but you just brush, like how?
I don't brush them off. I still I have difficulty where I continuously think about it, but then I work through it. I don't just tuck it away. I think that's the thing. I think with you power through them. And when you power through it, you're not giving yourself the ability to build that muscle, right? Because it's a muscle. To be able, you bounce back because you're building that muscle. When you're first building it, it takes a while longer. But then as you continue to practice it, because it's a practice, you become more and more proficient at it.
Okay, so what do, you say?
Obviously, I first think about all the reasons why I dislike them too.
Her Chicanas coming. Oh no, you didn't, mija.
I know, but then after I was like, the biggest realization that has helped me is to realize that people often criticize other people, not because of the other person, but is more of a projection. It's more something that they have about themselves that ends up being projected to others. So often I'm like, well, if they don't like me, after I work through it, I'm like, if they don't like me is because I do put myself out there, right? I do share my thoughts. I'm very vulnerable and open with what I'm going through. And not a lot of people sometimes like that, right? So I'm able to kind of spin it around and say, I'm just in a different point in my life than they are. And what they do, what I do bothers them because it's a projection on them, not necessarily on me.
So that's how you work through it.
Yeah. And it takes time. I'm not saying that it's going to happen overnight. It obviously it hurts, right? You don't want to, I think about that one situation that I shared with you where someone, and it was it sucked because it was like two people being involved. And then this one person said something negative about me. And then this other person was upset that I worked through it. And then I shared it in social media. So they were like, why would you put me out there saying that I said it? I never said anything that they said it, but just me sharing it created a problem.
This? Oh,
we'll talk about it after. Anyway, but so that hurt more. That hurt more than the actual person, the actual person talking about me, because the other person is supposed to be a really good friend of mine that I'm like, well, why did you even entertain the thought of somebody? What did you even tell me? This is the thing. If somebody talks negative about somebody else, don't bring it up unless you did something to stop it.
This is pure telenovela right now.
Well, yeah, because I'm like, if you are A-okay with somebody talking poorly about somebody else, or sometimes it comes from discomfort and you don't know what to say, but don't bring it back to the other person.
Right. So I know, at least I think this, it's not in this person's character to talk negatively about me. So
Yeah.
I don't think this person's starting rumors. I don't think they're at this level.
Okay.
I just know that for some reason this person doesn't like me.
It's I think it might be how you show up in life. You're not afraid to be seen, right?
I'm conducting this month.
Okay.
I'm practically puking every single like
Because you allow that thought to
no
keep in
no
before?
because I am contrary to popular contrary to popular belief, I am a wreck anytime that I have to do public speaking. I'm like, I know I don't show it, and I was having this conversation. Oh, we just call this. We're calling this girl to this calling, right? So in our faith, it's rotating leadership, right, or ecclesiastical leadership. So at some point you're going to be a leader, and then other points somebody else can get to be that leader, and so forth and so forth. Anyways, long story short, we're calling this one person to be a particular whatever, and they're really, really scared. They're really, really afraid to do this calling, and one of the things is their language. It's a language barrier, right? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I can't speak that well, and I see the current person in that leadership role, and they speak well and whatever, right? And then this person was telling me that how every time they get nervous, they feel like they have to go to the bathroom. They start to like palm sweat, and I'm like, me too.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, I go through the exact same thing.
Me too.
And then they're like, no, not you. And I'm like, 100% me. One of three things happen every time that I get nervous. One, I start to yawn.
Do you use like a tick?
I think it's a tick.
You're making me want to yawn.
Yeah. Which is weird. Every time you say the word yawn, go yawn. I bet you somebody out there is yawning right now.
I'm totally like,
go,
it's
yawn.
it's there, but it doesn't want to come out.
Go,
It's like a
yawn,
little shy.
Yawn.
Is it a laugh or is it a yawn? Oh my gosh, stop it.
Go, yawn.
Anyway,
I know literally you can see this inflating.
Okay.
Frog.
Go.
Go, yawn.
No, I can't. No. Anyway, keep going.
Guaranteed somebody who's listening right now is yawning right now.
Yeah, every time you hear the word yawn or you see somebody yawn, you end up yawning.
Go, yawn.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. Okay.
I wonder
keep
if there's
going.
like an antidote against that.
No, there's not, because we have mirror neurons, right?
Who?
So we have something called mirror neurons. Basically, what you do, one of the reasons why we yawn when each other yawn is because we have something that mirrors what you do. So if you yawn, because of my mirror neurons, I will yawn too.
So if I pick my nose, you're gonna pick your nose as well?
No, with other things, you were good. I
didn't go in. It didn't go in.
Rolls it, flicks it to the disgusting.
It didn't go in. I put it right by the base. I just want to see if her neurons were good follow.
Mirror.
What did I say?
Neuron mirror or something. I don't know what you said. Anyway, keep going your story.
So one of three things happen. I start to yawn.
Okay.
Or my palms start to sweat.
Okay.
Or and my stomach starts to turn to the point that I feel like I have to go to the bathroom, which I don't.
Yeah.
But I go, and I even end up in the bathroom, like sitting on the toilet sometimes, and like nothing's coming out. Like, I mean, because I know too much details. I get it, but I'm just
so if Miguel is late to the Sunday meeting, you know why?
Just to illustrate what my body's going through, right?
Yeah.
So I'm talking to this person, and I'm go through the exact same thing, and then she said probably one of the nicest compliments that I've ever gotten. And I'm going to say it not to boast, but just to reiterate the story that I'm trying to tell. Reiterate. Anyways, to emphasize the story. She says that my words are like magnets. Like, she goes, when you speak, it draws attention. Like,
because you're a storyteller. That's why.
Yeah, I've been told that. Yeah, I've been described as that. But here's the thing is though, right? It was a great compliment, and it totally, truly humbled me, and I was grateful for that compliment. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it doesn't. So this whole thing comes back to where you're saying that the way that I put myself out there, it's not accepted by others. But people need to understand that I'm a wreck when I'm up there.
Well, then share it. That's why I share. A lot of the times when I public speak, I will often start off, if I'm feeling really nervous, I will share that I'm really nervous, or I tend to cry a lot, especially if it's anything spiritual, or anything that's like a personal experience and whatnot, and I will preface it, or I'll share with people how I'm feeling, because I feel like there's power in sharing that sometimes we do things that are not easy. And I often do this as well in mind, because I work with the youth, and I don't want them to look at me like this person who, oh, I could never do that. When in reality, I was exactly like them. I was like even worse. I was so shy, painfully shy. Like I didn't have a single friend when I was maybe in grade like 6 and 7.
Up until yesterday.
Up until I was. Thank you for being my friend.
No problem.
But literally, right? So it's just that's why I shared it. Yesterday, I got up and I bore my testimony, right? And I kind of shared a little bit of the situation that I'm going through. And one of the things that I talked about is experiencing overwhelm and anxiety, because I want them to know that if they're experiencing something like that, that it is normal, right? And that you can still have a moment of anxiety and a moment of joy, and that both can coexist. Anyway, that's my whole thing about sharing, and maybe sometimes I overshare. I don't know.
No, and you do. You wear your heart on your sleeve, and you share so much. Like, follow her on social media.
Oh my gosh, again?
No.
Is she crying again? Do your damn workout. Stop crying. I don't need to see your snot.
But I saw this post that you were like, you were sweating buckets.
Oh yeah, which one? I sweat a lot.
No, like it was just dripping. You're like, look at this.
I know, it was like the greatest joy of my life.
Yeah,
I love it.
I know. I used to sweat like that.
Oh, I love sweating.
But anyways, so I get it, and I don't know. Anyway, so
it's okay. You can work through it.
It's something that I have to power through, because I don't.
Well, you're gonna have a different attitude from now on. Something that you have to work through, not power through, because you're putting it under the rug. That's why it's.
I know, and I've been surviving.
I know, and it's building up, right? There's gonna be one moment where it's all gonna come exploding out, or it could have come out exploding out, or you're actually retaining yourself from your next level, your potential, what you could reach, right? Because I'm like, we have these experiences to help us grow, and sometimes with these experiences, as you work through them, is like you level up. And if you're not working through it, then potentially you're going to be in the same level for a while.
Have you ever heard of the word compassion fatigue? You're a nurse. You may have.
Well, I understand. I haven't never heard it, but I would understand where you're so compassionate over other people that you're tired.
Yeah. So it's actually, it's not I don't want to say a symptom. It's not a disease. It's when you're depressed, what is that? What is that called?
What do you mean when you're depressed?
Yeah, when you're depressed. It's not a disease.
A disorder.
It is a disorder. So compassion fatigue is a disorder.
Okay.
And it happened to me once. And I still remember that day. It was horrible.
Like you were feeling everybody's like.
No.
I don't understand.
So compassion fatigue, it's a disorder that legit exists, right? So I used to work with the Canadian Mental Health Association. I was one of their adult educators. So I would be sent out on an assignment and give workshops on mental health and whatever. And one of the presentations that I would give is self-care and compassion fatigue, or no, mental health 101, and then in all of its disorders. Anyways, long story short, we were and what it is it's when you care, or when you care for so many people, and you just like, you absorb everybody's energy, and then you're always in service, and you're doing this and you're doing that, and then it's taking 24/7 from out of you, and you're just giving of yourself all whatever. There's a point that you just snap, and you go from one end of the spectrum, which is your full service of people, to the opposite end of the spectrum, where you just don't care about human life.
Yeah.
And you just want to stay away from everyone, right? Yeah. And I've never been on this side of the spectrum. I've always been on this side, right? It's just like service, whatever everybody needs, you give of yourself. And if you've gone to the temple, right? Yeah, consecrate yourself, and you just like, you give everything to the church, to the Lord, and to everybody, right? And this happened to me about 8 years ago. No, it was about 2-3 years before the pandemic hit. And I came home, and I wanted nothing to do with anybody.
You hated everybody.
I hated and then
yeah,
legit,
I know.
I've
had moments like that where I'm like, I'm done.
I hated everybody.
Yeah.
And I was having almost like an out of body experience. Like I could see myself now wanting to. I was blocking people's numbers. I don't want to talk to that person, whatever. And Tegan saw this noticeable change. She's like, "What's wrong with you?" And she's like, just people are annoying me, right? And so, and again, I was just witnessing myself not caring and not loving. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, okay. And because I've been teaching this, I immediately recognized it. And so I called my supervisor, Tammy Wellen, and we should definitely have her on the show. Mm-hmm. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to mental health. And I'm like, Tammy, I think I'm going through something. I don't know what it is and whatever. And I gave her all my symptoms, what's been going through. And she goes, you have compassion fatigue. She goes, what are you doing to take care of yourself? Yeah. Self-care. I'm like, well, nothing. And she goes, well, that's your problem right now. She goes, you're a bank and there's been so much withdrawals, but nothing putting in, no deposits. There's been no deposits. Yeah. Right. And so she goes, if you are not putting things in, right, when it's time for people to take a withdrawal, you're in the negative now. Yeah. Right. You're in the negative. And so people are just like withdrawing. And it's not their fault. Right. Like they need help and they're going to come to you. Right.
Well, it's you. Right. Like
it's all my fault. Yeah. It was all on me.
So I read this book and I highly recommend it. It's called The Science of Getting Rich. Right. And I love that book because it has like a God perspective in it as well. But there's this one line that says that extreme altruism and extreme selfishness is one of the same, and God doesn't want either of it. Right?
What is it? Say that again. Extreme what?
Extreme altruism, meaning that you just give everything that you have away. Okay. And extreme selfishness is one of the same, and that's not what God has asked us to do. Wow. Yeah. So I was like, I highlighted it. I was like, dang, because I know people. Well, I know certain individuals that are like all about giving, but their life is a hot mess. Yeah. And I'm like, you cannot give from an empty cup. You cannot, like, I understand being in the service of others, but the Lord also expects us to be self-reliant. Mm-hmm. So you have to add that aspect into it, and that means taking care of yourself so you can be fully there for others, because nobody's going to benefit if you're running on fumes. Yeah. Right? But I love that. I love that aspect, because I'm like, it's sometimes how we perceive things, that if we're always giving, to give is better than to receive, right? But in all essence, to give and to receive is part of the same. It's like breathing. You can't just exhale. You need to inhale, right? So it's all part of the same circle of life per se.
And so going back to my original question, what do you do when you crash things? I now welcome these crash points, and that's why I hesitated to say anything, because I know that there's something that I have to learn from these crash points, because of what happened to me. I'm noticing one of my sons going through it right now. And so the exact same conversation that Tammy Wellen had with me years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, is the exact same conversation I had on Saturday night with one of my boys.
Yeah. And I love that. These experiences is what teach you the lessons that you can share with others, right? I agree. Lately, I've been thinking, because I have been experiencing anxiety, a lot more anxiety than what I'm used to. And one of the thoughts that I've been having is the fact, when I work out till fatigue. I feel the burning sensation. I feel that intensity. I feel the sweat. I sometimes feel my thoughts being like, oh my gosh, I need to stop, right? But at a certain point, it gets better and I get stronger. Yeah. And so then with my mindset and with the anxiety that I've been feeling, obviously I do strategies to help me overcome it as much as I can. But there are times that I just sit in my feelings and think of it like a workout. Think of it that is that point that my mindset is having that intense sort of preparation, exercise, strength building. And that at a certain point, just like when I work out, things get better, I get stronger, I can lift heavier, I can do more. It's going to be the same thing.
Have you ever heard of the spoons and the forks?
No.
The spoons and the forks?
Legit. Can we just your phone?
I'm
gonna call you out because it keeps vibrating, and I'm like, it's distracting me.
I'm sorry, princess.
We have a job to do. Come on.
When she starts clapping at me, I'm like, relax. No, it's
this is what I see. And then you're like, seriously, you're disrupting my flow.
Okay, are you gonna call me out? Mom that forgot to call her school, and then we're calling.
We all did it together. We were all part of it. So unless you're including us in the text message,
I'll include you in my text message. This is the family chat that's going on right now. I don't even know what's happening. So this is the thing. He says.
Who says?
Oh, Seth. No, Seth.
Okay.
Hey, what time are you guys gonna be home? And Tegan says, we're home. We didn't go to African Lion Safari. We were supposed to go to African Lion Safari?
Clearly, he was not invited. Maybe they're waiting for you, so let's...
No, are you serious? I don't think... No,
okay.
we weren't supposed to go... No, we weren't supposed to go to African Lion Safari. Because today we're celebrating Tegan's birthday.
Oh my gosh. I know her birthday was a week ago, right?
Yeah. So we never celebrate...
On the day of?
On the day of, because normally, well, if it falls during the week, there's no way. She's working, I'm working. We can't do really anything, so we do it on the weekend. And the weekend right after her birthday, kids had prom things. Somebody had to go somewhere. It was whatever, so we never get to. So we're doing it today.
That's nice.
Anyway, forks and spoons.
I don't know what that is.
You don't?
Unless I Google.
Forks and spoons. Okay, so this is something that I learned a year ago, and I was just blown away.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
We all have spoons, an X amount of spoons that we wake up.
Seriously. You're gonna get that death stare now.
This is my...
You're getting the death stare. Everybody, like, clap
relax.
at this guy.
Okay, I don't even know where to put it. There. So my armpits will cushion the vibration. So it's, okay. So here's the thing. Ready?
I'm ready.
We all wake up with an X amount of spoons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Some people wake up with 20. Some people wake up with 50 spoons. And other people wake up with like whatever, right? So if you wake up with 50 spoons and I call you and be like, I need help, right?
So one spoon goes to you?
So
or like...
I take one spoon, right? Because the spoons you give away.
Yeah.
Right? And I take one spoon from you. And again, the spoons are meant to give away. But you have 50 spoons. And I take one of your spoons. Do you feel anxious or anxiety or, like...
No, you probably wouldn't until you hit the one.
Okay. What if somebody wakes up with 4 spoons and I call you and I'm like, I need your help. And I from 4, you go to 3.
You probably start feeling it a lot sooner.
Right. Right. So the key is how many spoons you wake up with. Number 1.
Yeah.
Right. So the more spoons that you can put in your bucket or your cup, whatever, however many spoons that you can put in there, try and increase the amount of spoons that you wake up with. Number 1. The other ones are forks. Now the forks are normally 3 to 4 prongs.
Okay.
Right. The forks, they multiply. When you also give away a fork, but you get 2 to or whatever, however many prongs your forks have. On an
you
average,
get that back.
So on an average, a fork has 4 prongs.
Yeah.
Right. So when people ask for something, you give away one of the prongs, or you give away one of you give away the forks, but then you get 3 spoons in return. Mm-hmm. So the forks is things like service. Mm-hmm. The forks are things like spending time with, self-care, spending time with family. You giving away these things, but you're also getting something in return. I have a friend, she does I don't want to say project manager, but she does big events for schools. Yeah. And it takes up a lot of her time. Like we're talking about like 60 hours weeks to create a conference for youth. But by the end, she feels so fulfilled. Like she just feels like on cloud 9. She sees the smiles on the kids' faces. Everybody's cheering. Everybody's having a good time. And she can take a step back and be like, oh, I did this. For her, doing these things are forks. Yeah. She's giving away so many forks, but then she's getting so many spoons in return. Right? Yeah. So with this whole thing about mental health and life crashing in, I think it's a combination of forks and spoons. I think you got to figure out a way to increase that bucket so you can fit more spoons. Yeah. And then also have forks in there as well. Mm-hmm. And one of the key things is self-care. Mm-hmm. You got to find time for yourself. Because if you're always doing things unto others, you're going to go through compassion fatigue, and you're just going to get to this point where like just life sucks. Yeah. And you stop caring about people in life, right?
Yeah, and it affects the people closest to you
Oh,
too,
100%,
right?
100%.
So it's not just like everybody around you.
It's putting on the mask on, right? And we
Yeah.
talked about this in the past.
Yeah.
Putting on that mask on, and then as you put on this mask, you're able to help the people, your immediate people around you.
Yeah, I agree.
So, get some forks. Get some
Get
spoons.
some forks on there. We're like, No, I was just gonna say, I'm like, your fork could be your passions, things that you love to do that is a service of others, but also you receive fulfillment.
Check out this picture.
Oh shoot, that's a cute picture. Is that for the Daddy and Me dance?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful picture.
I love this picture. Look.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, so listen, we have this competition here. Are you ready?
I'm ready. What is it?
So first of all, before we announce what
So disruptive. Oh my gosh.
No.
Can we please try to look professional?
there's nothing professional about this podcast.
Nothing.
Like, you got a messy room right here, like in the back. There's just everything.
Oh my gosh.
There's nothing professional here. But just before we go into what we're giving away, just to let you guys know, our summer broadcast. So we are, anyways, we've come up with a 2-month schedule, and then we're gonna put out a post and just show you what the dates and what these podcast thingamabobs.
Whatever it is that we do.
Oh, and another thing is that when we put up these podcasts, when we put up these broadcasts, it actually, you can hit a notification. So right before we're about to go live, you get a notification so you don't miss it.
Yes, and people, our sweet friends, come and like and share. Help us spread our message. Help others in this life journey.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And then we might. I'm liking this giveaway stuff, so we might just do an end of summer giveaway. I don't know.
that's a fork, isn't it?
It is definitely a fork.
It is, especially it is a fork.
Yeah, 100. For me, these giveaways, just to put a smile on people's faces, it's definitely a fork. It's definitely not a spoon.
Okay, so let's share the giveaway. You want to go ahead?
Okay, so no. First, we're gonna do the summer broadcast.
Oh, okay, listen up, people.
Listen. So we got 8 shows coming up.
Yeah.
Okay, and so we are going to be talking about on the 11th anxiety and how everyone has it and how we can overcome it. That's a big one. On the 18th, we're going to talk about not feeling good enough and having that like feeling of just we're not
inadequacy.
Yeah, like a feeling, which is an imp, by the way, in my book.
And there you go.
And I like this one, and you actually came up with this one. So on the 25th, we're going to talk about your bad days and how they don't define you.
I like it. Circumstance over perspective.
Whatever she said, I really.
He's like, I have no idea.
I really like that. This one I personally like. It's okay to fail. Right? I went through a lot of that starting the business. Battling with negative thoughts. We're going to talk about on August the 8th. Spend time with, screen time, the new drug.
Oh my gosh.
This is going to be heavy. Screen time, the new drug. On the 22nd of August, we're going to talk about how to enhance your mental strength. So I know Maria is a big fan of physical fitness. And so how do we do mental fitness? Right? Yeah.
And just applying those principles that are from physical fitness into our mental strength, I think. Mental resiliency.
Right. And on the last Monday of August, we're developing your social connections, how to re-establish social connections or develop those things.
I love that, especially going into a school year, and especially because kids nowadays too, going into a school, there's a lot of over-reliance on cell phones and staying connected through chatting and text messaging. So that's something that we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Really.
So a lot of these things are going to be like, it's personal, like it's family and personal, but also like helping your teen, your youth overcome some of these things. So we're going to put a post with all of these, our summer broadcasts. So just make sure that you are watching out for our link to go from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you can
our
watch
summer's mental health, y'all.
Mental health, y'all. So here is our giveaway. So this is what we want you to do. Okay. So as you can see here, you like that, eh? That was pretty cool.
I feel like we're missing the music.
I know. So this is what's going to happen. This is our QR code, and this links you to pretty much all of our social links. Okay. If you just hold the camera, your phone camera up until this QR code is going to take you to our link tree. Now, here's the thing. You need to not only like, right, or subscribe to our many social sites. But you are to hashtag today's podcast or any other podcast with the hashtag VS giveaway. Okay. And out of those shares, out of those things that, those likes, shares, some subscribes that you hashtag or anything, whatever that you can think of, whatever that we're connected to, as long as you hashtag it VS giveaways, you are automatically entered to win. And we're going to pick a winner on Sunday, and we're going to announce it next Monday's podcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
And the giveaway is... What the heck was that?
I was trying to amp you up. This guy doesn't appreciate me.
So
I need to be appreciated. Let me find another podcast person to go with.
That was... Oh, man. I was making fun of you so bad that this happened. Okay, here we go.
I think I broke my thing. I can't hear anymore. Oh, there. I can hear now.
Okay. So here is the giveaways. And I was talking to Maria. A lot of the times... people, and I saw this quote that we spend all of our time to get money, and then we spend all of our money to get time back.
Yeah.
And it's a one-way streak. You don't get time back. It's a one currency that you don't have. That's non-refundable. So we're trying to give you guys the gift of time. So that's what this giveaway is. It's the gift of time. And you are going to get, if you are picked, you are going to get 2 tickets to the movies, a dinner for 2. That's right. And it's a date and with us. Well, not with us, but like it's on us. and then marble slab ice cream.
Oh my gosh, Yam, I haven't had marble slab in so long.
If you don't know what marble slab ice cream is, it's like they make the ice cream right there in front. Well, they don't make the ice cream.
They blend it together, but you're able to pick however many ice creams you want and whatever toppings you have. And then on the marble thing, they like flap it together. It's really good. There you go.
Doing.
I'm doing the motions. That's what I would envision I do if I worked at Marble Slab.
So what it is...
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a marble stone.
Tell me. I'm listening. I'm sitting.
Are you paying attention?
I am.
Let me learn you something.
Learn.
So it's a slab. It's a frozen, deep freezed
marble slab, a stone slab, and they take ice cream, and then there's an array. See, you didn't use array. Legit, that's what I just said.
You didn't say array.
Okay, go on.
There's a bunch of stuff. There's an array of blemishes.
What did we say about using big words?
Stick
to your vocabulary.
Stick to your vocabulary. The boy ice cream. So marble slab, it's pretty big, right? It's pretty big. Not condiments. Just an array of blemishes.
Blemishes?
Yeah.
That's not the word.
Isn't it blemish?
It's not I don't know. Anyway, it's an array of things that you can put in there.
Yeah, you got not mosquitoes.
Skittles. Like, there's Skittles, graham crackers, gummy worms, anything you want.
Anything that you can think of. Oreo cookies, Reese's Pieces chunks, anything that you can think of.
Legit. This is what you want to do. You want to make sure that you like, you comment, and you share, tag your friends, share it in your stories. Make sure you hashtag it with hashtag VS giveaway. And if you do that, you can enter to win the gift of time. So 2 movie tickets, a dinner voucher, and a voucher for Marble Slab.
100%. It'll be a date on us.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll treat you guys on a date.
Oh my gosh.
And then when whoever wins this, you got to make sure that you take pictures and just send it to us so then we can feature you guys on the show.
Yes, absolutely. So we're excited.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our... Let me turn this up here. This is our show for today. Thank you.
Let me do my thing. Why is this guy always judging me?
I'm not judging you. It's just you gotta have rhythm to.
I do have rhythm. Ow! I just hit my teeth on the microphone.
Did you? I gotta see the replay.
All right, we love you guys. Make sure you follow us in our social medias. Have an amazing week, and we will see you next Monday.
Absolutely. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.
Get a minute of your time. Get a minute of your. I sure gotta live right, and I'm never gonna let you out of my side. I've been knocked out, was a nice try, but I guess I get to keep my head on this time. God of the creation. right. Fall down, that from my height. Cause I didn't see the plank I have in my eye.